Hello everybody, and welcome back to the JXRC Stuff channel, and welcome to my after Maiden review of the Dart 250G. Don't worry, this video isn't going to be completely black and just me talking. I just wanted to put a little preface in front of this video, if that's a word, to say that due to a modicum of different things, the video is a bit shaky to the point where when I watch it, it starts to give me a headache. So if you are someone who suffers from something like epilepsy, possibly best just to minimize the window, listen to me talk, or again, if you just in general start feeling a little bit woozy, then feel free to just minimize the video and I'm talking. All the information that you need is in my words, not really on the screen. The video is just something nice to be in the background. But anyway, I will now fire that going in Vegas so that I can watch it with you. Oh, Vegas is falling over, come on. And off we go. So slightly strange launch, and you can see some of the rocking motion. This is in non-stabilized mode. That's just me flying it, and I do have a list of things that I need to go through here. I mean, slightly just the order that they came to my brain, but we'll get to it at some point. And you will get no signal from time to time from the DVR just because of where it was sat. That does not necessarily mean that's what I was getting in the goggles, because the DVR is my recording box that I did a video on before. So, and that was not sat near where we were. This was sat near the vans you can see in the background there. So, first comment that I have to make on this is that it's relatively gutless. It's not. I don't think it's quite as bad as I thought it would be. This is kind of video that's been. We'll get on to why that's doing that in a moment. But it is a little bit gutless on the tri-blade on a 3S. You know, if you want a speed machine, you really want to get the kit version, or at least upgrade the motor that's on the plug-and-play version. And yeah, I'm just adding another little note onto a future topic. So this was on 3S. It was a 1400 multi-star 3S again. I'll get onto that shaky in a moment. So I might try the 2S prop on 3S to see if that's a little bit better. So the tiny little one for 3S is a tri-blade. They have a normal like 503 for 2S. I might try that prop, but still on 3S and see what it's like. And also, going into my second point here, it ate battery. It really did. The 1400 was quite low when it landed, and it was a relatively short flight because of multiple reasons. I just decided to land the thing before I broke it. So you'll see when the video ends, you know, how long I actually flew. The time in the bottom right isn't right, because I did this bit at the beginning and I've chopped a bit of video at the beginning and at the end. So yeah, it ate the battery, and considering what other people have had with it in terms of flight time of about 25 minutes, I'm probably going to go and assemble at least one 2S 18650 lithium-ion battery, because I have 2 of them left from the 10 that I bought, and I've used 8 of them on 2 4-cells for my Sky Hunter, which I also made on this day with a very similar setup. Wibbly wobbly, wibbly wobbly, wibbly wobbly. This is why I said watch your eyes. Now, in terms, so I'm probably going to do that with that battery and order some more in the future, possibly slightly lower like amperage rating in terms of how much you can pull out the battery, but more capacity, because you get like a 3500 or 3800 instead of the 3000s that I have at the moment. But at least that'll be like a proof of concept. And is this the landing? Is this the landing you're about to see? It's going to loop again if it is. It glides for days. So this is the takeoff again, and it's quite good that it's looping at this point, because too much aileron. So at the minute I'm in non-stabilized mode. That's just me flying it about, having to be very, very, very gentle with it. So there was no dual rates, and there was no exponential, however you want to pronounce it, or spell it even. And you can see at some point in the video, even you'll have seen it once already, because again we're on a second loop. I roll it inverted and pull up in by accident. I meant to do a normal turn. It said it sort of rolled it on its back and did a dive, sort of loop out of it. Up elevator is about right. I did look, because as you can tell by the sort of violent wibbly wobblies, which we might have an example of in a minute. No, that's just me flying it around. Can't remember how much trim it needed. Oh, there we are. There's the violent wobblies, as it gets no signal, because wobbly, 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 wobbly. That's gyros doing that. We'll get to that in a minute. So, but because it was both things, I was going to look at doing it mechanically. But if you look at a servo arm or an arm on any normal plane, all the holes are in a line, straight with each other. On the Dart, obviously we've got them straight on the servo arm, but on the actual arm that connects to the elevons, they're like curved forward. So if you were to try and move it down an arm, you're not really moving it that far down, wibbly wobbly, wibbly wobbly, wibbly wobbly, because of gyros again. And also you'd have to like extend the arms or shorten the arms or do whatever you'd need to do, and it was just a nightmare. So I've decided for control, I'm going to put in dual rates and probably have them on that momentary switch on the back left of the X7S, so that I can hold it in and it will go to higher if you want to do a victory roll or something like that. But otherwise, there's that accidental upside down I was talking about. But otherwise, I'm going to come on, engage brain. Otherwise, I'm going to so yeah, dual rates of about 50 to be honest with you. And of course, as you can tell, it just starts again. The co-pilot's aileron rate was far too high. It was set at 50%, or is what I work at as 50%, because on that, and again, you can read my co-pilot or watch my co-pilot video where I gush about how brilliant I think it is, even though it was a bit wibbly wobbly on this flight, and the flight with the Skyhunter had the same issue with the ailerons too high, just on the gyro. Yeah, so I heard about 50. It needs backing off to like 25. It's way too overdoing it. 0 is sort of at 12 o'clock, and then you can either go plus 100, which is sort of around by 5 o'clock, or you can go minus 100, which is down by 7. Apologies if you can hear some neighbour noises. So it's about 50 now, whichever direction it needs to be. I'll knock it to like 25 and see what it's like afterwards. With the Skyhunter, not so much with this, because I decided to just land it before I broke it because of how wibbly wobbly it was on both kind of sticks and gyro. I decided that I was going to so on the Skyhunter, when you got it right, it did settle down and fly very, very nicely, so that's fine. In this model, you can tell when I'm not turning it, and when it's sort of cruising, especially on a downwind leg, because it was quite windy as well. On the downwind leg, when I'm not turning it around, it does fly very smooth. Again, it just shows that the model has a lot of promise. In terms of the camera, of course, this is the VC400? The VC400 from ZOHD. It can do 25 milliwatts, 200 or 250, and 400. As you can tell by that middle number, we are on 25 milliwatts, and I was very impressed with it. So A8 is your band and channel number. 5725 is the exact frequency, 25 is your milliwatts, and 11.6 is your battery voltage, and obviously you've got the time on the right hand side. Now, considering this is the camera that's meant for the model, and the 3D printed mount that I got off the internet has the camera right at the front, as you can tell on the bottom left and bottom right, there is still a decent amount of chunk of foam left that could really do with being cut out. I will do this if I decide to keep with this camera. Because if I put in a bigger camera, like the cheap black no-name ones that I put in a lot of these cheaper models that don't need a mount, that will bring the lens a bit further forward. Now, what someone didn't mention they don't like about these is the fisheye, and I can see where they're coming from. It is nice for having a look around at things. But again, you can see it, especially in turns, you can see the sort of fishboleness. I'll see how I get on with it again. Whoops, there's the inverted by accident. But yeah, you see downwind leg there, nice and smooth. It's nice and smooth now, other than the fact that that also sort of highlights a little bit of the fishbowl effect. But anyway, am I coming for landing here? If I am, I'm going to have to loop the video again in editing, but we'll deal with that. I did FPV it during this flight because of these issues. My dad was actually watching the goggles and said the video was fine, didn't break out too many times. You can see all the amount of times that it broke up because it says that no signal thing for a short while. And the recording, as I say, was done in that recording box I have a video on near the van. So it is a little bit not the most fair test because it is just a really cheap, nasty receiver with a not quite a dipole, but just a clover leaf on top of it, sat fairly near the floor, not very high up. And is it the best video footage I've ever seen? No, but it's not bad for something that's small and built in. Because I've got another one of these cameras to use on something. I'm probably going to stick it on the AXN and see how we go with that. Apologise for the washing up noise behind me. So yeah, overall very impressed. The to-dos that we've got to do on this is of course turn the rates down in the radio for the ailerons, turn down the gyro, and moving to 2S. But as I'm going to land it again for the last time in the sort of loop that I've made, that's it. Very good model. If you're looking at this model to either run with Copilot or run with iNav, if you get on with iNav, then that's fine, but the Copilot stuff is brilliant. The camera is fine as far as I can tell, as long as you don't hate the fishbowl effect, and if they're on a good deal as well, especially. Yeah, it's up to you, but the plane itself as it was is absolutely fine. And the only other query that I had about the fact that the aileron servos, well, that's all the servos that are in there, had a bit of a click around the middle point. It flew fine. We'll see how it goes on in the long run. But yeah, other than that, excellent model. Bought with my own money, of course, as wasn't a freebie from Banggood. But any links that might be in the description of this video are affiliate links, mostly. If they are, it says in the description as well. But thank you. Please like if you like this video, subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. And if you have any questions about the model or the Copilot or the camera or whatever else, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. And I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.